Hey, so we're going to be looking at Curaleaf. So this is another one of our marijuana type stocks. We recently did a video on GTBIF, which is our second marijuana type stock. Um, and I just want to see if we come across the same type of pattern with them as we will with Curaleaf. And before I get started, if you have any insight on this stock that you want to share, please feel free to share that in the comments section below. I'd be happy to read that and kind of discuss a little bit more with you. But with that said, let's just look into this one. So I zoomed this one back out to about the 3 year period. And the reason I did that is because we're hitting lows that I didn't expect we would see again for this stock. And so I'm going to draw this, another black line, and this would be the all-time lows for this stock. So you can see this is the full spectrum. This stock is fairly new. It came out in, let's see, like late 2018. So it hasn't been around for that long, about 5 years, but it did crash just like pretty much the entire market back in March of 2020, and then it rallied, and then it came crashing down like most of the market. But now what it's doing is it's actually come back. So with a lot of stocks that we've looked at, most of them, they've had the same type of acceleration up until some point in 2021, whether it was early or late, but generally in 2021. And then they all pulled back very drastically. This one, of course, is more extreme than I would say most others. And the unique thing with this one is most of the stocks that we've looked at right around here, this, and again, the date range might vary for the stock, but for this one, right around like the midpoint of 22 to third quarter, and for this one, even into December of 22, it seems to have found like a new bottom. However, with the other stocks that we've looked at right around this time period, then they start to kind of trend upwards or maybe even just flat. But with this one, it keeps dropping lower. And this is kind of surprising to me, only because I do have their Yahoo portfolio up. And again, this is a over-the-counter stock because it's not federally legal. And so with that said, I'm not sure if your brokerage account will allow for purchase of this type of stock. Like I know for me, I want to. So I have E-Trade and I have a Webull account. I think I'm able to buy on both accounts. However, if you do have an account that you're not able to, such as I don't know, Charles Schwab or one of those other big brokerage accounts, if you're not able to buy it on there, I know for sure you can get it on Webull. So I will give you a referral link in the description below. So if you don't have an account, feel free to open one. You'll get uh, 2 free shares just for opening a new account, and then if after you make your first deposit, then they'll give you like 10 fractional shares on top of that. So just something to keep in mind if your your brokerage doesn't allow you to buy this, or if you want to open an account and use Webull to track this. But getting back into this, so this one's clearly dropping, and we'll break this out to a year chart. No, not for any particular reason, but the things that we wanted to focus on for me was right here the market cap. Market cap's at about, we're just going to round that up to $2 billion. And then let's look at their financials, just a very broad sense of it. In their financials, so TTM, that's trailing 12 months, their total revenue for the past 12 months was $1.3 billion, because you can see right here it says all numbers are in thousands. So I will mention that whenever we looked at GTBIF, which is Green Thumb, that's the other marijuana stock that we're tracking, it also is in that same sort of range where Uh, the market cap is about 2 times revenue, at least for the trailing 12 months. So I don't know if that's like an industry standard for this industry of marijuana, but if it is, well, then we're in line. But it to me, it just doesn't make sense. I feel like with any company, normally normally you're getting a lot higher multiples, whether it's 10, 20, like the market in general, like for the S&P 500, normally the market is like 20 times sales, so something like that. But for them, it's only two, and same for Green Thumb. That's very interesting, and obviously the downfall with this one and why it's being graded so poorly is because, well, they're not making money right now. You can see their net income down here is in the negative. So obviously that's why this is a very undervalued stock. But again, they're clearly making a lot of money. So once they can kind of work out the details, I think this one has high potential. We'll look at their balance sheet just real quick. Uh, so you can see that they have a lot of assets compared to their liabilities. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. Let me just mute. That shouldn't have happened. But uh, and then the other thing is, if we look at their current assets versus current liabilities, I mean, they're very good position. They have like 3 times their current assets or current liabilities. I mean, if we look at their payables and current debt, that's really all that makes it up. And in terms of cash, in cash alone, they pretty much have it covered. So there's no worry about this one like going bankrupt or anything like that. So that kind of puts me at ease with this one. But let's go back into this. So I'm really not sure why it's falling so much. Uh, just to kind of get an overview, they did make a purchase recently. This was 4 days ago. I'm not sure where this is. We can open that. They're expanding brands. Um, Nothing here's like popping. They don't really publish too much. First dispensary in Connecticut. Opening in Florida. Curaleaf cutting staff as it exit 3. Ah, that's interesting. Okay, so they're leaving 3 states. Said it will pull out of California, Colorado, and Oregon. Price compression from illicit sales. Something to look into because those are main states. I wonder what's going on with this. Desert Wellness operator in Utah. Okay, something to think about here. But I guess without looking any further than that, if we just look at the technicals, um, their financials are in a good position. I have to imagine if we go back to this just for a sec. So the closures in those 3 states, which are very big states for this stuff, I guess clearly because the profit margins for those states. But again, if we look at the financials, they're very financially sound. I think as more states become legal, maybe that will give them better opportunities, especially since they're opening stores in other locations. So I'd be curious to know, and we'll even open it just for a sec since we're here. Reduce payroll by 10%. We'll exit production. For context, these markets contributed less than 50 million in revenue. So they really weren't big in those states anyway. So I'm wondering if they're more of an East Coast type provider and Canada. So yeah, I'm not too worried because again, when we looked at the trailing 12 months, it was like 1.3 billion dollars, and these states apparently only made up 50 million. So I'm not too concerned about that. I have no idea why it would drop this rapidly. So I feel confident again in this one. I did get a little nervous, but I feel comfortable. So I'm just going to update my chart here. So currently it's in the $2 range. It's at 280, but again, I'm just taking off the cents and saying it's $2. Originally, I was saying buy at 4, and that's because it seemed like we had some support here for about 6-ish months. It was very steady, and then all of a sudden, they must have had something happen here. Must have been, we'll zoom in, must have been a bad financial reporting, and we can, let's see if I can pull that up. I don't think it showed us. If we look at their financials, does it show? What about analysis? Is it on the summary? Normally stocks have like a chart off on the right that shows if they beat expectations or not. I guess since they're negative, they don't offer that. I'm gonna check here one more time because maybe I just didn't scroll down. Oh, here it is. Okay, so they really missed by 3 cents. I mean, it's not. Yeah, I mean, I'm not too concerned about this one. They're still small enough that they can make that up. All they need is like one good quarter, and then everyone will be on them. So I still like it. Again, the reason why we had a buy point of 4 is because of this support. Now it seems like 3 was acting as support, and now we're at, this is near, if it's not at an all-time low, it's like tied with it. Because right here we had, I mean, I tried to draw the black line right on the mark, which was about 270. And if we scroll back over here, we're at 280, so it's very close to that point. It touched it in terms of that tail. It's very hard to see, but there's a little tail that did touch that previous low back in 2020. We'll see what happens with this one. I just want to zoom out a little bit just because another reason why I'm not too worried about this one is because the trade volume has disappeared. No one's even looking at this one. So all of a sudden, if just 1 or 2 big buyers come in and buy, I don't know how much volume this is. It doesn't tell me. But you can see just the trade volume has disappeared from this. So if they can get back into the news somehow and start trading more actively like this, it could easily run. And so that's kind of what I'm banking for. Plus, overall, I think it's just, I want to build this one out. I'm not sure what level I want to build it out to, but I will think about that and hopefully have an answer soon. But that pretty much covers this. There's not much else that I can share on this one. We'll see how it kind of plays out over the next couple weeks, but otherwise, this is how I'm seeing it. So we have Curaleaf right here. It's currently in the $2 range. I was saying buy at 4, and $7 would be like a time to potentially take some profits in there, only because it has acted as resistance for from 2022 for most of 2022. Once it went below $7, it's acted as resistance twice, and more often it's hit resistance in the $6 range. So we'll kind of see how this plays out. This is more of a long-term thing. Obviously, I don't expect this one to bounce back up that quickly, although it can. I would imagine this one's going to trade sideways and hopefully trend slowly upwards over the next couple quarters. That would be kind of what I see in this one. But in terms of notes, downtrend, all-time low, and I'm going to put market cap is 2 times revenue. Okay, so I just added in a couple notes here. So again, here we go. You can see the notes that I put in. But again, so if you have any information on this one, if you think I'm if I miss something, maybe it has something to do outside of those exiting those couple states. I'm sure at some point they'll probably try to re-enter those states, but yeah, if you know something that I'm not seeing, uh, or just have your own opinion on when you would buy or sell this one, uh, again, share that in the comments. But otherwise, like and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.